This typewriter broke. And we have no beginning music because we will hear the music of the ship and the response from the bridge. That was a 3 long and 2 short call and response, which isn't really required anymore because they've got, radios and cell phones and communicate to the tower without having to blow their horns. But they still do it, and that's kind of connects to what's happening in this video because I will be showing you some letterpress items that I find very fun but totally unnecessary in this day and age. This is the press that I've been talking about for a year and a half. It was in storage and now it is in a new shop. Quite a few presses here. Some little ones and some big C&Ps, they're called. They're sort of a different kind of press. And we have 2 Vandercooks, and mine is a Vandercook 3. Owner of the shop has a Vandercook Universal, which is behind me. But basically, they're called proof presses. Here's a view of a galley I set up to print some typefaces. I'm trying to get a full collection of all of our typefaces so we know what's what. And we'll run through from inking the press to printing. You typically work the ink with a putty knife and then apply it to the rollers. I have a manual roller situation, so I have to turn a handle. There's no electricity, no electric motor to work, and so I just put the turning roller on top and then go at it. I need to just run it with a little spinner. Drum here that distributes the ink evenly has an eccentric, so it goes back and forth to distribute the ink smoothly. Otherwise it would just glop in one place. After the ink is applied, you have to put the handle from print into trip because that puts the ink on the type in the galley. And you run it a few times with trip, and then you're ready to print. So here I'm putting the paper in the holders by the drum, getting it straight, and then pulling it through. And we have a print. We want to trip. And with 2 pieces of paper. Well, that looks a little better. Okay, so here's first printing of the Century typeface. We have a couple different things. We got the regular 14 point, a italic, and then this is a what's called an old style italic. And they're usually in first printings a bit of a mistake. Like the capital Z was missing, UVXRZ, you know, so there's missing a W and a Y. The R can look like a Y a little bit with the italic. And then here the D was instead of B, and those two can get mixed up in the lowercase quite often. That's not unusual. And I decided to rearrange a few things, and so this is the final, where the, title is at the top, and it's a little clearer that way. And all of the mistakes are corrected. So how did I get involved in letterpress? It has to do with this fellow here, Chuck Miller. He's a Iowa poet. And I was visiting him one time. He's giving me all sorts of books, but he couldn't give me one of them, which was a letterpress edition, very limited edition. And so that intrigued me, and it was very beautiful, called The Harvesters. So after the visit, I wrote a poem about him. It goes like this. I know this poet Chuck, who uses second person as a kind of habit. And I asked him once, I knew he'd been asked many times before, I'm sure, about his tendency to slide or slip into saying you when it's clearly an I thing or moment. Well, it can be so irritating when you start talking as if you knew what the other person thought, when of course you couldn't. But it's so funny when you see it happening because you can't resist it. You just about fall into the habit like you've done it your whole fucking life, now that you think about it. Here are some of the proofs that I pulled. The Old English, different varieties and different sizes. Delarobia, it's a very nice title kind of size. Lombardic and Tiern are both for titles. And Rattle titling and Weiss initials, large type. And Lydian in lots of different sizes and italic. And then this Jessen Schrift. We have Bradley and Bullfinch, a couple of sizes of Bullfinch. And under the Bullfinch was this tiny little 6-point Schaefer, a huge Franklin Gothic, 48 points, which is huge. And then Worrell, which is an interesting one with lots of symbols. And Libra, large and small. Gaudi, medieval. And then we have a Gaudi 30. I love Gaudi. I think he was the best designer. Castellan old style. It's a very old type. An Italian old style, which would be used as a normal text. So let's end with a poem by Chuck Miller. All night long the wind blew and blew. Between sleeps you could hear it. Blew hard, blew like hell. You'd rather it blew everything away by morning, or at least topsy-turvy. Blow, son of a bitch, blow. Blow away all the horse shit, all the bullshit. What good is a poem unless it talks about our wishes and desires? So all night long the wind working, working. What else is it good for except to blow away all the horse shit, all the bullshit? Blow, fucker, blow. But by morning, there it was, just the same, or more or less. God damn it to hell. Try again. Then another night to blow everything away by morning.
See, that's a captain that likes to have some fun.